Ashwin essentially is now, we have a confirmation that he is retiring. Nikhil is also now joining us with the very latest on that big story. Ashwin drawing a curtain there to an illustrious career, and I think everyone kind of spoke about this also. The rumors were there after that video went completely viral. Those images with Virat Kohli, that warm embrace, went viral, Nikhil.
Well, that's right, Sneha. I mean, there were, of course, speculation as soon as you saw pictures of Ravichandran Ashwin in an animated conversation with Virat Kohli on the sidelines of the Brisbane Test match. In commentary at that time, Mr. Sunil Gavaskar was there, and he also thought that probably they are looking back at his career, and that was indication enough that he may be calling time on his career. And while I'll have to say that, this is something that now when you look at it in hindsight, you can understand why he would have taken that decision. But overall, if you would ask me, I think it is a bit of a shocker because Ravichandran Ashwin, we've discussed him very often. He's on the way, of becoming one of the greats of the game. He's already one of the best bowlers to have played for India. But we would discuss, how far can he get in terms of wicket-taking abilities? Can he finish as the third highest wicket-taker in the history of Test cricket? And he was well on his way there. Based on our calculation, looking at his performance so far, you would imagine maybe another couple of years and he could have reached there. He's 38 years of age. He's a spinner, remember, not really a fast bowler. And for a spinner to go till about, 40 years wasn't surprising. He still remains, dare I say, the best Test match spinner that you have in the country. But I guess now the decision that he's taken is probably based on the fact that even though he's the best spinner in the country in the longest format of the game, he does not get a regular spot in the Indian team. And that's been the case for the last 5 to 7 years. Different coaches have come, different captains have come, but quite often it's been a scenario where Ravichandran Ashwin found himself sitting on the bench. And the same script was playing out in this tour right now in Australia. I think that is what really nudged Ravichandran Ashwin to call time on his career. As I said, if you were to ask me, is he good enough to play Test cricket for a couple more years? He certainly is. Is he the best spinner in the country in the longest format? He certainly is. Yet he's decided to retire. We were hearing Rohit Sharma, the Indian captain, and he said that, this is a personal decision. Ashwin himself didn't take any questions. Had he taken any questions in the press conference, we would have had some sort of insight as to what is it that really prompted him to take that decision. He did not take any question. He said anything that he says right now could be misconstrued later. He said he's not really in the right frame of mind. He's quite emotional at the moment deciding this, and so he doesn't want to take questions. He will take questions on another day, but not today. I think if you put all of that together, it's a decision that is not something that, there are a lot of times cricketers have decided to retire on a very happy note when they think that, they've achieved whatever they could and maybe it's time to go. I think in Ashwin's case, it's not a situation where he thinks he's achieved everything in cricket. I think it's more a case of he doesn't feel he's getting the due that he deserves in international cricket, and probably that's why he should hang up his boots.
It's rather unfortunate, isn't it, if that really is the case, because it's obviously leading to a fair amount of speculation and raising questions about what could possibly trigger him to announce his retirement right in the middle of the Test series, Nikhil.
Exactly, Sneha. I think, if I was to give one word to this decision, I'd use a cliche, calling it a shocker. For me, personally, it comes definitely as a shocker because, as I say, he still remains the best spinner. I think if you go into this series and you see what happened, the first Test match, he did not, get a chance to play for the Indian team. You may have thought that he gets a chance, he doesn't get a chance. Then he waits for the next Test match, he gets a chance to play. It's a pink ball Test match. He toils very hard, picks up a wicket or two, but isn't amongst the wickets. And that's not primarily because of his bowling abilities, but because usually in the pink ball Test match, you do not see spinners really come to the fore. It's more of a fast bowler's game. Then you get to this particular Test match in Brisbane, and once again, you don't go with Ravichandran Ashwin as your lone spinner, and Jadeja comes in. I think I think there are two factors, and not blaming these two players, but I think this probably would be the writing on the wall for Ashwin. One, the fact that Jadeja got a lot of runs in this match. So he knows somewhere deep down that now going forward in this particular series, it'll be next to impossible to drop Ravindra Jadeja. And you're playing in Australia, there's seldom going to be a chance where you're going to be playing two spinners, mostly one spinner, at least the next test match again, one spinner, and that would have to be Jadeja considering the way he's batted here. So he knows that he's probably not going to be playing the next test match and probably not the test match after that. So that's the first consideration. The second consideration, that even in the Sydney test match, the final test match of the series, you do look to play two spinners. On that front as well, you've got a Washington Sundar who's already played a test match in this series. He brings a lot to the table as far as a batter is also concerned. He is a similar off spinner like Ashwin, so they both are similar in the sense both off spinners. So I think these two factors put together, Jadeja getting runs with the bat and Washington Sundar being the other option as an off spinner because he also provides some sort of batting for the Indian team, and that's one thing that the Indian team has been looking for. That is what probably prompted him in deciding to call time on his career in the middle of a series. We have seen it in the past that, cricketers have decided to call it a day in the middle of the series, but that's mostly been because they think they are done with cricket, and that's the best that they can contribute. In Ashwin's case, I think there is a feeling, there is an understanding that, he's come to, that probably the team is not going to require him anymore in this series. Anyway, after this, India play no more test matches. It's the end of the WTC World Test Championship cycle now. Another cycle starts after this. India not in a position to make it to the WTC final. I think all of those factors is what has prompted Ravichandran Ashwin to decide, and he's come out and said that this is it. This is my last day in international cricket. Not to say, a lot of time we've heard players say, okay, I'm deciding to retire at the end of the series because we're in the middle of the series. He said, no, this is it. This is my last day as an international cricketer, which means he's not going to be available for selection for the next test match in Melbourne, where India have quite often played two spinners, and is not going to be available for selection for the final test match in Sydney, where also quite often you end up playing two spinners. So I think at the moment he has that feeling that, he's surplus to the requirement of the Indian team, and that's why he's taken this call.